Welcome and good evening. One of the most evocative words in the English language must surely be Caribbean. Caribbean. Just to utter it.
That was the Maestros show band. Now meet the Maestros maestro, Roy Jacob. Evening, Roy.
How are you?
That was a terrific sound. What's that called?
Soca Aora.
What's that mean?
Well, I thought the best thing is here and now. You know.
What an incredible coincidence. It was lovely. And this is some of the band. Can I just introduce you all? This is Viv.
Hello.
And Wayne. And Janet.
Hello.
Janet, you seem to be playing a cowbell during that number.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
It actually is a cowbell.
Yeah.
Does it take a long time to learn?
Not really. Sometimes you just have the skills to play, an instrument also.
But you play the steel drum as well?
Yeah.
And Viv, how long have you been playing?
Just over a year.
And is it easy to learn?
I can't really say. It depends how much practice you're putting in.
You practice a lot, do you?
A fair amount, yeah.
Well, how much?
Just a couple of nights a week, yeah.
And Wayne, you're obviously one of the older members of the band. How old are you?
12. I mean 11. Sorry.
Nearly 12?
Yeah.
And how long have you been playing?
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
And do you like it?
Yeah.
It's a lovely sound. Roy, when did you form the Maestros?
I have started Maestros Steelbands, and I've called all the different bands by that name, Maestros, from the Midland Arts Centre. I've started in 1975.
So how many Maestros have you been through now?
About 5 different lots, and they're all earning their livings all over the world now. And this is the present lot I have here for the last 2 years. I suppose they have another 2 years to do with me.
Great. Now, you told me that the steel band was formed really on VE 1945, so it's the only instrument to have a birthday, really, isn't it?
Well, thereabout, and you people account for it, actually. If you didn't win the war, we would not have had this. Because Trinidad being a carnival-loving, noisy country, we celebrate a lot of carnivals there. It was a good excuse, because having stopped the carnival during the war, and when you won the war, well, we wanted to celebrate. Trinidad being an oil country, hence the oil drum. And to make a loud enough sound, when Churchill said we had accomplished victory, there you are. We had the birth of the steel band. And the loud dents, the big dents and sounds and noise brought out the steel band eventually.
Now, you're one of, I think you said, only about half a dozen people in the country who can actually tune a steel drum. Or pan is the correct term.
Pan is the original name, and we have stuck to it. We old ones, you know, we stick to that term. But the modern steel band player call them tenors and sopranos and altos and cellos, you know. Well, we call them all pans.
So what's the range of a drum?
They're generally 3 octaves. 3 octaves on the pan, which limits us in some way, but it depends on the size of the band. Then nearly any piece of music can be played, from classic, calypso, reggae, the latest beat we have in Trinidad called soca. Hence we have soca ahora, now, see?
Well, how do you go about making a steel drum?
Well, it's a steel drum. It must be steel. This, as you see, it was a 40-gallon oil drum.
Where do you get them from?
Well, we beg around and scrounge and things like that. And
well, we should put out an appeal then. So anyone who's got an old steel drum they don't want, they should get in touch with you.
Sure, we'd love to have that. At least it helps the kids, you know. Now, this 40-gallon oil drum was sunk manually. That's the hard part. It can only be done by hand, sweat, elbow sweat. It goes down to this depth, and then the various parts, the different parts are marked off with a blunt instrument, being careful not to cut the drum in any way, so that to prevent the sound going through. And then, to be honest, it's tuned with this, a hammer.
Not a special one at that, either.
No, just an ordinary hammer, but the skill is in the hand. And in theory, the general idea of the tone we get is stretching the metal, like an ordinary piece of steel string, stretching it. That gives the tone.
Well, can you show us?
Yes, I can, sure. We have some parts which are already marked off here. And I'll try to get a tone for you. Now you want this lower. There you have a sound. And by hitting it in various places and stretching the metal, you get a different tone. You can get it lower. Down. It is really a skill that comes with the hand.
How many notes can you have on one drum?
Well, this is a part of a double second, and you can have as many as 15 on each part of it. A double second obviously requires 2 drums, and 15 notes on each one. Give you a fair range. But on the tenor pan itself, or soprano, we have a full range of 13 notes on one oil drum.
Well, you said earlier that you could play anything. Why don't you play us a bit of the classics?
Right, lovely. You named a tune. We have been doing one this morning, the Blue Danube.
All right, lovely. Well, it's the Maestros Steelband and the Blue Danube.